You have ascended not to a throne, but to a battlefield disguised as a palace. The applause that greeted your rise is not admiration, but calculation. In the grand game of power, those who smile often sharpen their knives behind the curtain. You now stand in a world where loyalty is transient, virtue is often a weakness, and justice, when not wielded as a weapon, is but the comfort of the powerless. Let us cast aside illusions. You are not here to be loved. You are here to remain. Power does not ask for permission. It demands strategy, cunning, and the cold discipline of foresight. A prince who seeks to rule by morality alone will be overthrown by those who understand that appearances of virtue are more potent than virtue itself. You must not be good, but you must seem good to destroy your enemies. You must wear the mask of grace while wielding the dagger of inevitability. The world you inherit is not stable. It is a crumbling edifice built on the exhausted promises of old loyalties and outdated laws. In such times, those who hesitate are devoured. Your noblest smile, your generals bow, your priests bless you, but they watch, they whisper, they wait. The people do not know what they desire, only that they suffer. Give them not peace, but spectacle. Distract them with reforms you never intend to complete, while consolidating your true power where it matters in the military, in the treasury, and in the fear you instill through calculated mercy and ruthless memory. He who forgives too freely invites contempt. He who punishes too erratically inspires revolt. You must be feared in the right proportion, and at the right distance. The mind of the multitude is best ruled not with chains, but with symbols. Make the people believe they are free, and they will chain themselves to your image. Let them think you are one of them. Smile in public while you poison the roots of dissent in secret. The greatest error of a ruler is to trust. Trust is a gift you offer only to the grave. Surround yourself not with friends, but with those whose fortunes depend entirely upon your survival. It is not kinship that preserves your rule, but necessity. Let your ministers quarrel for your favor. Their division is your security. Let spies report on spies, and let loyalty be bought anew each month. For it is better to pay gold than to pay in blood. History does not remember the kindly prince who was toppled by kindness. It remembers the lion who tore through the deceitful pack. Therefore, learn to be both fox and lion. The fox, to recognize traps. The lion, to terrify wolves. Your enemies will speak of fairness while scheming your demise. Answer not with justice, but with advantage. The art of destruction, my prince, is the art of preemption. When you detect rebellion, strike not at the rebels, but at their inspiration. Silence is the best fate for sedition. When a rival dreams of power, remove his sleep before he awakens. Eliminate not just bodies, but legacy. Banish names, burn documents. Rewrite the memory of your ascent until only your version remains. Do not think cruelty evil. Think it a tool. What matters is not whether you spill blood, but whether the blood you spill ends future conflict. One great cruelty, expertly applied, is more merciful than 1,000 hesitant punishments. The people forget suffering, but they remember instability. They will excuse your brutality if it purchases their order. Let your violence be surgical, brief, and decisive, like lightning in a storm, terrifying, but clarifying. Should you suffer defeat, do not seek pity. Seek restoration. The throne is not a reward. It is a test. Power does not pity the weak, and the world does not forgive failure. Your enemies will not grant you rest. They will only wait for your fall. Therefore, rest is the enemy of vigilance. Sleep with one eye open and speak always, as if your words are being recorded for history, for one day they will be. To govern is not to rule over angels, but over beasts in human form. You must understand their hunger, their fear, their need for spectacle, and you must feed each in proportion. A populace that is too hungry becomes revolutionary. A populace that is too content becomes indolent. You must balance their appetite with crises you invent and solve. Let them need you. If you cannot be loved and feared, choose to be feared. Love is a candle, fear is a fortress. The love of the people is as fickle as the weather, turning with rumors and winds of doubt. Fear, if properly cultivated, creates a silence in which your word becomes law. But beware, tyranny breeds assassins. Therefore, be not a tyrant, but an architect. Let your domination appear as the natural order. Reward those who obey. Elevate the mediocre if they are loyal. Genius is dangerous unless it bends to your will. Let the talented serve you, not challenge you. Religion is the opiate of loyalty. Let the people see you at prayer, even if your heart is unmoved. A prince who allies with faith gains more than any army. Let the priests believe they guide you, in truth. You guide them. Use religion not to find salvation, but to purchase obedience. In war, strike not when you are ready, but when your enemy is least prepared. Peace is a tool, not a goal. Sign treaties to gain time. Break them to gain land. Let honor be your mask and expedience your sword. A wise ruler signs with one hand while the other draws the blade. The fate of your kingdom depends not on good intentions but on executed strategy. The world punishes the well-meaning fool and rewards the calculated predator. Hold your smile steady as you make decisions that others would tremble to voice. And remember, you are not here to serve the times. You are here to master them. If the people adore you, let it be because they fear the alternative. If they hate you, let it be because you have succeeded. Power does not beg. Power does not apologize. Power endures. You must understand the theater of weakness. For many rulers have fallen not by the strength of their enemies, but by their own display of conscience. The world is not changed by hesitation. It is altered by the will to act when others are paralyzed by doubt. You will be tempted, in moments of internal solitude, to be merciful for mercy's sake, to extend forgiveness in pursuit of your own peace. Resist such impulses. The state is not your confessional, and the people are not your therapists. You are not here to feel, but to mold the clay of men into monuments of your dominion. Beware of philosophers and poets who whisper about virtue detached from necessity. Their words flower in the minds of the idle. But kingdoms are not built with verse or ideals. They are built with calculations, some bloody, all necessary. A ruler who listens too long to dreams forgets that men are creatures of appetite and survival. The masses do not want truth. They want bread, a spectacle, and a master who makes them forget their insignificance. Use myth, use fear, use hope. Craft the narrative of your reign with such precision that even your enemies quote your vision. Let your assassinations be attributed to justice. Let your purges be framed as protection. You must commit the deeds of a wolf while cloaked in the robes of a shepherd. And should blood spill in the streets, ensure that the people cry not against you but to you. It is better to act decisively and revise the story later than to wait for consensus. Consensus is a mirage, and those who chase it are led into traps designed by their rivals. Rule from the front in war, and from the shadows in peace. If you are always seen, you are always known. And if you are always known, you are predictable. And predictability is the prelude to betrayal. Let your moods be unreadable. Let your intentions be speculated upon but never confirmed. Power thrives in ambiguity. A predictable prince is a vulnerable one. When your enemies do not know if you will pardon or punish, they hesitate. And in hesitation, there is your advantage. Do not delegate your ruthlessness. The executioner must be feared, but it is your name that must be revered. When you delegate cruelty, you breed loyalty to another. When you enact it yourself with elegance, with resolve, you teach the lesson that you are both origin and end of justice. There will come a time when you must destroy someone beloved. A minister, a general, perhaps even a brother. Do not tremble. These moments define your legacy. To preserve your authority, you must be willing to sever any limb, extinguish any name, erase any history. Regret is for the dethroned. You must not merely survive. Your task is to thrive in a field littered with the corpses of those who once smiled too easily, forgave too freely, and waited too long. There is a certain beauty in total control, not the control of a tyrant, but of a composer. Let your state be a symphony where every note is written by your will, every instrument tuned to your ambition. Discord must be silenced swiftly, lest it become a melody that others sing. Let rebellion be unthinkable, not because of fear alone, but because you have rendered it implausible by commanding every channel of influence, political, spiritual, and economic. Never grow idle in prosperity. The fruits of success are often poisoned with complacency. The moment you believe your power is permanent is the moment you begin to lose it. Continue to act as though the knife waits just beyond the curtain, because it does. Let each feast you host be shadowed by the memory of famine. Let every ally you gain be weighed by how easily they could become adversary. Understand that betrayal is not always unjustified. It is often the natural result of opportunity meeting ambition. Therefore, do not only eliminate traitors, eliminate the possibility of betrayal itself. Keep your court in motion. Rotate positions of power frequently. Let no man or woman feel irreplaceable. Create a culture in which loyalty is not a virtue, but a necessity for survival. A prince who does not train in deceit will be destroyed by those who do. Truth is a currency, but like any currency, its value fluctuates. Sometimes truth is your weapon, sometimes it is your disguise. The greatest trick a ruler can play is convincing others he has nothing to hide. Let them see your transparency through the carefully constructed veil you have placed before their eyes. In foreign affairs, never enter a war unless you are certain to win or certain to gain. And even in victory, do not leave your enemy intact. The vanquished who retain honor will someday return. Dismantle not only their arms, but their pride. Break them with diplomacy if you must, with terror if you can, and with division always. If you cannot conquer, then corrupt. Bribery is a more enduring conquest than any sword. The state is not a family, and you are not its father. Sentimentality is the disease of weak rulers. Govern not with affection, but with advantage. Let every relationship be assessed by its utility. Keep no one close who cannot serve your purpose. Elevate none whose loyalty is inherited. A man who has suffered to gain your favor will kill to protect it. A man who inherited privilege will sell you for applause. The architecture of power is not built with marble or gold, but with silence, fear, and the illusion of permanence. When you speak, your words must carry the weight of law. When you act, your actions must suggest destiny. Let your opponents believe that resistance is not merely futile, it is profane, that to oppose you is to oppose fate itself. Above all, never forget, stability is not natural. It is an invention, a fragile spell cast upon the chaos of men's desires. You must renew it constantly through fear, through spectacle, through manipulation of memory and myth. Your people must be made to believe not only that you govern well, but that they cannot imagine a world in which you do not govern. Thus ends the second veil of knowledge. Let us now speak of enemies. For no prince is without them, and the greatest folly is to pretend otherwise, even in moments of triumph, even among your oldest allies, even in your keenest hours. There are those who scheme your undoing. Some will hide behind counsel, others behind piety, and many more behind laughter. The wise prince does not wait to be betrayed. He anticipates betrayal as inevitable and prepares its punishment in advance. The art of neutralizing enemies is not always through annihilation, though at times it must be. Often it is through division. When your enemies quarrel, they cannot unite. Fan their grievances, feed their pride, grant small victories to one, favors to another, until they forget that you are their common obstacle. Divide the ambitious with titles, distract the bold with war. Let the jealous believe they are seen, and the fearful believe they are safe. Let each man think he is your favorite, until none truly is. And yet, there are enemies too dangerous to manipulate, too principled to bribe, too popular to destroy openly. These are the ones who must disappear without spectacle. Let them fall not with a blade, but with disgrace. Fabricate scandal, manufacture failure. Expose just enough of their private desires to reduce them in the eyes of the people. A dead enemy becomes a martyr. A disgraced one becomes forgotten. The illusion of justice is often more powerful than justice itself. Let courts remain. Let judge proceed. But let them know their verdicts are suggestions until you nod. Let the people believe their laws protect them while you use those same laws to tighten your grip. The letter of the law can be bent. The spirit of the law can be broken. But so long as the language is maintained, the people will not see the chains wrapped around their wrists. To govern well is to know not only what is said, but what is thought. Censorship is a crude tool. It breeds curiosity, but surveillance discrète, omnipresent. Silent is the path to true dominion. Let the people speak, but let them wonder who listens. Fear not loud criticism, for that can be punished. Fear the quiet ones, those who nod and smile and reveal nothing. Plant ears in their walls and eyes in their halls. Let no whisper go unreported. Secrets are weapons, and he who holds the most commands the war. Your city must reflect your rule. Its architecture should inspire awe, not comfort. Grandeur humbles the spirit. Let the stones themselves speak of your permanence. Commission statues not of yourself, but of your vision. Carve your principles into marble so that generations bow before your ideals, even if they forget your face. Let the city's layout reflect your logic order. Symmetry, control. Where the streets are chaotic, the hearts of men follow. Do not allow too much learning among the people. Education breeds discernment, and discernment begets discontent. Teach them loyalty, tradition, and obedience. Let the brightest minds serve you, not question you. Patronize the arts, but censor the message. Permit philosophy only, so long as it praises structure. Let no new ideas rise unless you first understand how to control them. Innovation is a flame beautiful, but often uncontrollable. Better to burn by your hand than theirs. You will be tempted. One day, To soften, perhaps age will bring it, or peace, or some beloved face that stirs in you the ashes of gentler impulses. Beware. A prince who begins to feel too deeply begins to rot. Let your emotions be used only as masks. You may weep at a funeral, but ensure the body buried was the one that threatened your reign. You may laugh among your people, but ensure the jest is never at your expense. You may offer mercy, but only when it is cheaper than punishment. Even your moments of seeming humanity must serve the crown. Never abdicate power voluntarily. Not for age, not for morality, not for the promise of peace. Power surrendered is never returned. If you must step aside, let it be an appearance only. Let the successor be one you shaped, one you control, one who owes their very breath to your generosity. True rulers never retire. They only change seats. The foreign prince is your mirror. Do not believe his pleasantries. He does not wish you stability, but weakness. Nations are wolves in robes. Smile at their emissaries and poison their spies. Send aid when it weakens them. Trade when it enriches you. And should an opportunity arise to influence their unrest, take it. Destabilization is a currency. Spend it where it profits your expansion. The sea of politics is ever shifting. The storms are many, and the harbors few. But if your hand remains steady, if your vision remains clear, you can ride even the most furious tempest and arrive at the future as its architect, not its victim. It is not enough to survive. My prince, you must shape history. And history belongs not to the just, but to the victorious. Now we arrive at the matter of legacy, the shadow cast by power across the pages of history. It is not enough to reign. You must remain. 1,000 rulers have worn crowns, but few are remembered. Fewer still are revered. And those who are feared forever, those names endure like scars upon the memory of mankind. To endure, you must become myth, not a man, but an idea. Flesh withers, thrones are stolen, statues crumble, but fear, reverence, awe, these transcend generations. You must craft your narrative as carefully as you craft your policies. Chronicle your triumphs, embellish your failures, silence your critics, not only in life, but in posterity. Commission the scribes, the historians, the poets. Let them write what you dictate. Let no document remain that contradicts the world you constructed. Do not fear lies, use them. The truth is often less useful than the believable fiction. If the people believe you restored order, then you did. If they believe you were chosen by the gods, then you were. If they believe their suffering was necessary, they will bless you for their pain. Your legacy does not depend on what you did, but what they remember. To secure your lineage is to ensure the continuation of your dominion. Raise heirs not in love, but in discipline. Let them witness betrayal before affection. Teach them to smile through poison, to praise while plotting, to see power as sacred and trust as a liability. An untrained successor is more dangerous than a foreign invader. Raise not a child, but a sovereign, and if none are worthy, make none. There will be moments when the future itself appears unstable. A rebellion brewing, a famine approaching, a foreign threat encroaching. Do not merely react. Act as if these forces bend to your anticipation. Seize the chaos. Declare it prophecy. Present yourself as the only solution. If you can master the crisis, you become not just ruler but savior. But remember, the final test of every prince is not how he rules in peace, but how he maneuvers through ruin, when all seems lost, when your name is cursed, When your allies flee and the world turns black, that is when your true dominion is forged. For those who survive the fall can rise again, not as men but as legend. Prepare your fortress of last resort, not of stone, but of loyalty. A network of the indebted, the compromised, the beholden, those who cannot live without your reign. When exile seems near, you will have roots in places others see only as soil. Never plant all power in one place. Divide it, like your enemies, so that no hand can remove it entirely. Let those who would write your epitaph be silenced by your second act. Should your death arrive, let it be orchestrated. Do not die quietly. Let your final moments be legend. Let the sky darken, the bells toll, the people wail. Let your enemies believe they are free, and then let your final design ensnare them. A true prince rules even from the grave. But if you would avoid that fate altogether, you must do what most princes fear: become something more than mortal. Not through sorcery, nor faith, nor divine right, but through strategy. Master the time you live in. Shape it, then shatter it. Build a new world in your name. Dismantle the institutions that resist you, then replace them with your image. Let the calendar begin with your coronation. Let your holidays replace theirs. Let your name become the axis of the state. When the people say, "This is how it has always been," let what they mean is, "This is how you made it." That, my prince, is the final art, not to merely survive power's game, but to rewrite its rules. Not to hold the world in your grip, but to make the world forget it was ever not yours. A prince who masters this is not merely ruler of his time, he is ruler of all time that comes after. And so I leave you with this truth: always smile. Yes, smile when they praise you. Smile when they plot against you. Smile as you extend your hand in welcome, and as you place the blade beneath their ribs. Let them mistake your gentleness for grace, your charm for naivety, your tolerance for peace. But behind that smile, let your mind be calculating, your memory unforgiving, your hand always ready. Because the only smile that endures in history is the one worn by the man who destroyed everything that dared oppose him and remained. Smile, then, and begin. Power does not blink. Power does not yield. Power remembers.